Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage you join us inside BLU, the 2008 XJ X358, I'm trying to think of other names for it, but it's a 2.7 diesel. And once again we're doing a little task that's connected with this car's slightly shady service history. Shady because we don't have the service history. I think it was well looked after until quite recently, but the last year or so maybe not been looked after to the same standards. But we don't know that. One of the things we do know is we don't have the radio code for this car, and as I've just had a job done which has included taking the battery off, we're now in a situation where we're locked out of the radio. So we're going to resolve that today. It's going to cost me some money. I'm going to use an online service, but we need the serial number from the radio, so I'm going to take that out and show you how to do it. Okay, so that's what it looks like when your car needs a service code or a PIN number, and you only have so many attempts to enter this, or it won't let you enter anymore for about an hour or until you've disconnected the battery. So we need to get at the back of this unit in order to get the serial number from the head unit here. First thing, let's turn off the ignition. There's another bonus to doing this job. One of the other issues with the car is the left-hand speakers don't work. Too much of a coincidence, in my opinion, for it to be the speakers. So it's more likely to be connections on the back of this unit, connections on the amplifier, or the left-hand channel on this is just gone. Job one, definitely only using plastic tools, is to take the surround off this item here, and you could go in from here and just pull up. There is another clip at the back, but mine's jumped out. Take this off, and when you turn it over like this one, check to see if you've got clips which have stayed with this item. They should stay in the base. So this one's jumped out of here. Do it straight away before you lose things or forget. Take the clip and pop it back into the hole, ready to receive this next time. Always nice to look at numbers and things like this. You never know whether that's going to be a useful number. It may even be a code, but it's not, because we're after a 4-digit code for the PIN number. This is what we're after. This Torx head bolt, which is a Torx T30. I've got a magnetic tray sitting on a rag on the driver's seat so that I can keep everything together and neat and don't risk losing things in your interior. Okay, that's good. The next fittings are actually in the back of the car, and for that need to pull this unit off, and I note it's not actually seated properly, so I can pull it out with my fingers, but again what I should be using is a nice plastic trim tool that's not going to scuff up the leather, put dinks in the sides of your plastic mouldings. Just basically pull out from the bottom and the top will unclip itself. There we go. And inside there, you're again going to find two Torx T30 screws. There we go. And in order to lift this out, you've got wires passing through it. You just have to disconnect the backs of these connectors that go into each cigar lighter. And on these you just squeeze. There's a little Y-shaped element here on this side of the brown connector. As long as you're squeezing that, you can hear a little click and she'll pull straight out. They're just cigar lighters, so it doesn't matter which one goes to which. And then you've got this centre one which goes to the switch gear for the heated rear seats. And another one plugged in down here, which is the illumination. Out that comes. The one that connects to the switch with a little window, a little hole on the switch that you use to depress a little tang on the side of the connector. It's not obvious there. That you reach for a little hole, and as soon as you press it down it pulls out easy. And with those two disconnected, you can lift the back of the console and pull back at the same time, and that starts to come loose. The top edge of this is pushed into clips at the top, like this was pushed into clips down here, so it can be quite stubborn. So give it a good tug and out she comes. Fabulous build quality on these cars, really is. You see all the small items that have been done to prevent rattles and trim, but the build quality of this console is brilliant. Centre console removed, that's what we're left with. And unlike most vehicles where maybe this is mounted in the centre console, it goes straight back to essentially the chassis. You've got this magnesium framework behind the dashboard, but it's all bolted too. And again, we've got Torx fittings. So once we've reached this stage, all you need to do is remove, that's not a good pointer, is to remove 1, 2, and obviously symmetrically opposite 3 and 4 bolts. And now we're loose. Once you pull the unit forward, you can see the connections. There are 2 black multi-plugs, an aerial connection, an optical connection, and that's it. All very easy to work out, just squeeze them basically and they pull out the back. Definitely worth taking a quick picture so you know what goes where and the routing of the wires. And with the unit pulled fully forward, you can see it's basically 2 units. The touch screen, sat-nav screen, however you want to call it, and the radio head unit and CD player head unit are 2 separate items, bolted together in the magnesium frame. So there's the top panel of my radio. This is where it all looks like from the side. You can see you can undo these 2 and take the radio out, and there's your top 2-DIN, 3-DIN unit, I don't know. So I'm going to take the radio out of its rack just for the interest of doing so. Literally is just a case of undo these bolts. So you could just turn the unit upside down and look at these codes. I'm just disassembling it because I'm interested. So this is the serial number that you need. For the system I'm going to use, you need the whole thing, the JACN43, and then the rest of it. But other suppliers of codes may only need the short part, the number part. I don't mind you guys seeing this serial number, because if anybody nicks a radio, I'll know it's one of you 8,000. Right, so choose your own provider of these codes. I've gone for this particular one. Doesn't mean you have to. I'm not endorsing it. It's the one I chose because A, it was UK based, and B, it was reasonably cheap. So £8 a go to recover a radio code. And they seem to cover almost all the popular brands, plus slightly niche like Jaguar. So this is radiocodes.co.uk, and basically just tell you what sort of vehicle you've got, and then it'll spring into life, tell you how much it's going to charge you, £8.50 in this particular instance for immediate email, and you've got to give it the code that you just read off the back of your radio. And that goes into the space just above the buy now thing. See, the details are gone there. Talk about keys to remove the radio, which tells you it's all very generic. So I wouldn't read too much into any of the help that all these sites give you in removing your radio. I ended up actually doing this on my phone. So there's my code actually inserted, and literally doing the buy now. And it promised either an immediate response or to sort your code out within the hour if it was one they hadn't got on file. Mine took about 40 minutes. I was getting a bit flappy, thinking, oh, have I just wasted some money? But this is the message that came through about 45 minutes later. All you have to do then, or while you're waiting for your code, is reinstall everything, put it back together, get the car started back up again. You may have the option straight away to enter your PIN as per this picture. If it won't give you that option because you've tried too many attempts previously, then just turn the radio on. Obviously there'll be no sound, but turn the volume on and drive the car around for an hour or so, and eventually it'll recognize the fact that you are in the car with the key, you're driving it, it's evidently yours. I'll give you another crack at entering the code. Type it in, and hey presto, everything's good again. Write your code down, stick it in your service book somewhere, stick it somewhere safe. Well, I hope you enjoyed that short video and it's of some use to you guys. The process for doing the same job on an XK8, XK8 is very, very similar. Obviously the center console looks a little bit different and you've only got the single DIN unit, but same process. Take off the center console, remove the radio, read the code, select a provider of your choice, and away you go, you've got your code back. You can also just take your car to a Jaguar dealership, and often from the VIN number they'll be able to work out what the serial number on your radio is, but they will charge you rather a premium compared to doing it yourself. And sometimes they won't be able to do that because the radio has been changed or it was never recorded. So sometimes it gets even more expensive. So I would recommend sort it out yourself. Or don't lose your code in the first place. So check if you got it now. And remember, if you haven't got your code, when you disconnect your battery, you're going to need to sort it. Please subscribe. Look forward to your comments, and I'll see you again soon on To The Garage.